Welcome back. We're talking now about the first lecture on faith, the nature of faith, what it is. Let me read paragraph 1 from lecture 1. Faith being the first principle in revealed religion and the foundation of all righteousness, necessarily claims the first place in a course of lectures which are designed to unfold to the understanding the doctrine of Jesus Christ. By the way, I hope you have a copy of the lectures on faith, and if not, I hope you'll get one real soon. It would be nice if you'd follow along with me because we're going to read certain paragraphs from each of the lectures. In looking at this first lecture, I want to read now paragraphs 10 and 11. If men were duly to consider themselves and turn their thoughts and reflections to the operations of their own minds, they would readily discover that it is faith, and faith only, which is the moving cause of all action in them, that without it both mind and body would be in a state of inactivity, and all their exertions would cease, both physical and mental. Were this class to go back and reflect upon the history of their lives from the period of their first recollection, and ask themselves what principle excited them to action, or what gave them energy and activity in all their lawful avocations, callings, and pursuits, what would be the answer? Would it not be that it was the assurance which they had of the existence of things which they had not seen as yet? Was it not the hope which you had in consequence of your belief in the existence of unseen things, which stimulated you to action and exertion in order to obtain them? Are you not dependent on your faith or belief for the acquisition of all knowledge, wisdom, and intelligence? Here, we're finding the early brethren being taught faith in the broadest sense, in a temporal sense. That is, and he goes on, the lecture goes on to say, farmers wouldn't plant if they didn't anticipate a crop. So many things we wouldn't pursue if we didn't anticipate something happening down the road that's good. And so here faith is defined in a very broad way. Let me read to you something that Elder McConkie, Bruce R. McConkie, talks about. Sometimes there's a distinction made between belief and faith. I think Elder Talmage, to some extent, did that in Articles of Faith. Actually, if you're reading the New Testament, for example, faith, belief, it's the same word, and they're used in the New Testament, and I think mostly in the Book of Mormon, interchangeably. Here's what Elder McConkie said. This is from his book, A New Witness for the Articles of Faith. Now, I need to say, we're going to rely quite a bit upon New Witness for the Articles of Faith because there's a stunning amount of information in that large volume that deals with the lectures on faith. And so here's what Elder McConkie wrote in New Witness. Belief in its full glory and beauty comes from God and is a divine gift bestowed upon all mankind. It is a heaven-sent boon of infinite worth that in the full and true sense is nothing more nor less than faith itself. There is a limited scriptural warrant for defining belief in a passive and worldly sense. It is found in the writings of James. This ancient and inspired author taught that faith was dead and fruitless and without saving power unless attended by good works. In the course of his exhortation, he said that even the devils believe, though they are, of course, totally devoid of faith. This is a special usage of words for the particular purpose involved. The great body of revealed writ uses belief and faith as synonymous terms, and this is the course we should follow. And so, we'll use belief and faith as though they're exactly the same. There's a story that I think is just one of the great New Testament stories that I want to take a moment because it'll get us a little closer to understanding this matter of faith as we're considering it in Lecture 1. In Mark chapter 9, we're going to start with verse 17. And this is a story with which we're all familiar, but it's a tremendous study in itself on what faith is. Starting with verse 17. And one of the multitude answered and said, Master, I have brought unto thee my son, which hath a dumb spirit. And wheresoever he taketh him, wherever the evil spirit takes him, he teareth him, and he foameth and gnasheth with his teeth, and pineth away. And I spake to thy disciples that they should cast him out, and they could not. He answereth him and saith, O faithless generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him unto me. I don't think the Savior's trying to be condemnatory there as much as saying, I'm not going to be with you always, and so we better get our faith built. And they brought him, unto Jesus. And when he saw him, straightway the spirit tare him, and he fell on the ground and wallowed foaming. And he asked his father, How long is it ago since this came unto him? And he, the father, said, Of a child, since he's a child. And oft times it hath cast him into the fire, the dad says, and into the waters to destroy him. But if thou canst do anything, have compassion on us and help us. Jesus said unto him, If thou canst believe, or in other words, what? If thou canst have faith, all things are possible to him that believeth. And this is very moving to me, and I know it is to many of you. And straightway the father of the child cried out and said with tears, Lord, I believe, help thou mine unbelief. When Jesus saw that the people came running together, he rebuked the foul spirit, saying unto him, Thou dumb and deaf spirit, I charge thee, come out of him, and enter no more into him. And the spirit cried, and rent him sore, and came out of him. And he was as one dead, insomuch that many said, He's dead. But Jesus took him by the hand, and lifted him up, and he arose. And when he was come unto the house, his disciples asked him privately, Why could not we cast him out? And he said unto them, This kind can come forth by nothing, but by prayer and fasting.